Malolele, this is Pacific Waves from RNZ Pacific. I'm Susana Swiswiki. Coming up,
someone who sings R&B songs and artist who performs R&B songs. There's a lot of feeling.
Who won what at this year's Pacific Music Awards? Also,
a 1 kg package just to New Zealand will cost you $40 to $50, which is half your minimum wage for the week.
Fiji startup seeking more investors, and Tonga and Samoa prepare for their PNC rugby clash. Shane Walker, Aradna and Sam Ree were some of the big winners at the 2025 Pacific Music Awards. Opetaia Hawaii, one of the Pacific's most influential cultural and musical ambassadors, was presented with the Pacific People's Lifetime Achievement Award. He also took home the award for Best Pacific Language. Walker took home awards for Best Pacific Male Artist and Best Pacific Song for Believe. Sam V, who took the Best Pacific Soul R&B Artist, is now the only artist to win the award 4 years in a row. He describes what makes a good R&B song.
It has to be sung with feel, man. There's a difference between a singer and someone who sings R&B songs and an artist who performs R&B songs. There's a lot of feeling and conviction in the words, so you have to believe what you're saying. You have to resonate with it, and it has to come from within, man. So there's a deep connection that I have to the energy and the genre of R&B. It's sexual, it's sensual, but it's also vulnerable and real.
I want to dedicate this song to my late mum and also to the late Fiji.
Samoan Indian singer-songwriter Aradna was named Best Pacific Female Artist. Aradna paid tribute to her late mum when accepting the award. She also featured on the winning track for the NZ On Air Streaming Award, They Don't Know with Savage. She was surprised the song is still popular nearly 20 years after it was recorded.
I just really liked the song, and I knew the melody was like, I knew it was a fun song to sing. I just didn't realize that, do this, it's really cool though.
The huge contribution that Chris Whaiumu, also known as DJ Mo or Fiji, made to music in Aotearoa was also remembered at the awards. Whaiumu died suddenly last month. He was seen as a pioneer of the New Zealand music scene and a force behind Fat Freddy's Drop, one of the most successful bands to come out of Aotearoa. His daughter Mia says she was proud to accept the award on behalf of her family and Fat Freddy's Drop.
It's really beautiful to have Dad recognised in this space and to just see the amazing legacy that he's left behind. So it's been a really intense month, and to see the love that there's been out there for Dad, and now to have this award, it's surreal, but it's beautiful, and we're really proud.
George Fiji Veikoso, one of the Pacific's most beloved musical voices, was also remembered at the awards. A new innovation hub in Fiji aims to help businesses become investment ready. The program, supported by the European Union, Australia and New Zealand, aims to give capacity building, financial literacy and investment support to entrepreneurs. Kaya Selby has the story.
It isn't easy to start a business anywhere, but what if you're starting in one of the most remote regions in the world? Rakeen Wahid has managed to break into the e-commerce space in Fiji, despite all the roadblocks.
So if you're operating in e-commerce space, it's very challenging unless you come up with your own logistical system.
Mr. Wahid says his website, Shop Pacifica, is one of the first retail platforms dreamt up for the Pacific Islands to operate entirely online, a gap in the market that he identified not because of competition, because of the exact opposite.
A 1 kg package just to New Zealand will cost you $40 to $50, which is half your minimum wage for the week. To get a package from the capital city to the next biggest island, which is Vanuatu, is $25. For comparison, daily income of a person is around $30.
The thing is that major world players like Amazon and eBay are hardly anywhere to be found. Mr. Wade says for entrepreneurs, this is the ultimate conundrum. The Pacific needs more international business to develop the market environment, but poor market environments make the Pacific less attractive for international business. Without change, business leaders say that Fiji, and indeed the wider region, will stay dependent on tourism and remittances in an increasingly volatile economic environment. Fiji's central bank economics manager, Caroline Wangabatha, says businesses need to be investment ready.
Often they lack the support to go from ideas to taking a loan and bringing that to the market so they can grow a business, generate income, employ other people. So there's so much more for us. The end goal is to grow the economy.
This is the logic behind a new innovation hub, a project giving capacity building support for new small businesses in Fiji. How it works, entrepreneurs come into the program with an idea and hopefully come out of it with opportunities for growth.
For me, this is, one of the ways where we could address that for, small and medium businesses especially, where when we take them to the banks and connect them, the banks are not able to turn them away because clearly they have gone through this innovation hub where they're all ready to go to the market.
While it may take a while to get off the ground, it may be enough to give a group of fledgling Fijian entrepreneurs a little bit of hope.
The waiting and preparation comes down to this weekend as far as the Pasifika rugby teams competing in 2 World Rugby events are concerned. First up in Tonga on Saturday afternoon, Pacific rugby rivals Tonga and Samoa go head-to-head in the opening round of the Pacific Nations Cup Series. Then on Saturday night and early Sunday morning, the Manusina of Samoa and Fijiana of Fiji play their opening pool matches at the Women's Rugby World Cup. Our senior sports journalist Iliesa Tora joins me for our talanoa. Malolele Iliesa, how are Ikalitahi of Tonga and Manu Samoa shaping up for this game?
Malota lava sana. Yes, indeed, interesting day tomorrow on Saturday in Tonga with the Pacific Nations Cup kicking off. Both Manu Samoa and Ikalitahi, who are opening the competition this year, will be chasing World Cup spots for 2027. Manu Samoa has been in Nuku'alofa for the last week. The Ikaletahi have been there for 2 weeks now, having played against the Queensland Reds last weekend. And both the head coaches, Lemalu Tusipisi of Manu Samoa and his counterpart from the Ikaletahi, David Tuifua, have named strong lineups, the strongest possible sides they said that they have with the squad that they have. So it's going to be one game that many expect to have the hallmark of the Pacific rugby clash between Fiji, Samoa, Tonga, Fiji, Samoa, Fiji, and that is something that both coaches are expecting in tomorrow's game. But at the same time, they are hoping that their respective teams will be able to outdo the other in trying to secure a win. First up in this first Pacific Nations Cup game. It has a lot of bearings for both teams moving forward, and a lot of things will depend basically on how they perform tomorrow. The Kaletahi have brought in, I think, 12 of their players. They've been lucky. They have 12 of their players who played at the World Cup in 2023. Some have put their hands up to come for this PNC because of the importance of securing qualifying spots at the World Cup. Manu Samoa, on the other hand, also have a number of veteran players who are the mainstay in the team, with a mix of young players. They also have, PC was saying that they probably will give debut to 3 of their players off the bench tomorrow, and that's interesting because while a lot of things are going on into trying to win the game tomorrow, there's also building up and making sure that they have the pool of players that will carry them through. Because we would understand that at this time the European competition is just about to kick off. Japan is about to kick off. France is about to kick off their local competition. So most of the top players for both teams are not available because of that. And there are some who are currently playing in the NPC here in New Zealand. So interesting outset for Saturday's game, and a lot depending on that as far as the World Cup is concerned. But certainly a game that is going to be physical, very brutal, I will suspect, as both teams go head to head at T5 Stadium.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be an exciting match to watch, especially given the friendly competition between the two nations. So just wondering, Ili, who plays next and what's the schedule for the rest of the series?
Yeah, Tonga will then travel to Fiji next week. They play the Flying Fijians in Suva in their second pool game before Samoa travels to Rotorua and hosts the Flying Fijians here in New Zealand, in Rotorua. On the 6th of September, Manu Samoa will host the Flying Fijians here in Rotorua in New Zealand. So when that is completed, the three teams will then go to America. Also tomorrow night, going into Sunday morning, the first game from the second pool, which is the Asian pool, which includes Japan, Canada, and the USA Eagles, will also kick off. So Canada will be hosting USA in Calgary early on Sunday morning in that pool. And those three will play against each other in round-robin competition. So once the round-robin matches are completed in 3 weeks, the teams will have a grading of 1 to 3. We would know who are the top teams from the two pools, who has won the most matches and the most points, and then they have 1, 2, 3. Then the bottom two teams will then play off. The third teams from each pool will then play off. The winner will have a chance of getting into the World Cup in 2027, because the top two teams from whoever wins and who's the runner from the pools will qualify instantly as they make the semifinals, because Japan and Fiji have already qualified for 2027. So a lot of interest in that. There's going to be, I think the focus on the teams is to win all their games, and definitely that is what the Pacific teams will be trying to do. So next round of games, Fiji and Tonga in Suva on the 30th, and then Manu Samoa comes to New Zealand to host Fiji in Rotorua.
Just looking ahead to next month, where the major focus will be on women's rugby, what's the update from both the Manusina and Fijiana camps?
Yes, starting this weekend. In fact, the Rugby World Cup kicks off in England, and Manusina and Fijiana are both there. They've also both named very strong teams from the squad that they have to play their respective pool games, their first pool games. Manusina will be playing against the very experienced Australian Wallaroos. But head coach Mataafa Ramsey Tomikino, in naming the squad, the Matchday 23 says, they will play their own game. They have their own strengths that they hope they can put to the fore. They will be the underdogs, and he understands that Australia will come hard at them, and they've been prepared. They've been prepared physically, mentally, and spiritually, although they haven't had the preparation warm-up games that they would have wanted. He believes that the team is ready. Masuisui Matamaali Tawaua Pawaraisa, who is the captain and the most capped player in the side, told me this morning she is excited when we were exchanging messages, and she said, she is excited. The team has bonded well, and they build up that sisterhood spirit, and players have tried to improve individually and as a team, and their focus is to just go out there and do their best against Australia on Saturday night, 11 p.m. New Zealand time. But then Fiji, of course, playing Canada on Sunday morning in a game that they must also win to try and advance in their own pool. And the message out of the Fijiana camp is that they will just do the best they can. They know Canada is way ahead of them on ranking. Canada is ranked the second. Fijiana is ranked 14th. The team management say that they will focus on playing their own game, playing their own flair, and just trying to disrupt Canada as much as they can and use the possession that they do get in the game.
A lot of confidence there amongst the teams, but who are the favourites in this competition and how important is the Pacifica team's participation at such world meets?
Yes, definitely. We're looking at New Zealand as the defending champions. We're looking at Canada. We're looking at Australia. We're looking at America. We're also looking at the Six Nations teams, Wales, Scotland. They would be indeed the favourites for the World Cup. But then at the World Cup, anything can happen, and that is a message that the smaller teams, so to speak, are confident with. Fijiana and Manusina are two examples. So for each pools, England and Australia are the top seeds in Pool A. England being host and Australia being one of the top teams in Tier 1. Canada and Scotland are the top seeds in Pool B. New Zealand and Ireland are the top seeds in Pool C, and France and Italy in Pool D. The Pacifica team's participation in such world events or at the World Cup is critical for the development of women's rugby in the Pacific. And having Fiji, Samoa, and Tonga there will only boost the development of the game. There's so much that has happened. World Rugby is anticipating 78,000 people to watch the final of the World Cup. That would be the biggest ever number of fans watching at one time as far as women's rugby is concerned. Fiji and Samoa are now in the World Cup. Samoa coming back after 2014, and then, of course, Fiji being their second World Cup. Tonga is trying hard. They're building, and if they're able to get into the World Cup, that would only boost the development of women's rugby in the Pacific. So it is very, very important, critical for the Pacifica teams to be there, because playing at that level will lift the standards of individual players and they can take back to their countries. And also, the teams will be able to have financial benefits from participating at the World Cup, such as the one that we are going to be watching over the next month.
That's Pacific Waves for today. For all episodes, head over to rnz.co.nz/Pacific. We're also on Spotify, Apple and iHeartRadio. From myself and the RNZ Pacific team, tō whā soifua.